It's time to mind your business with me, Jamillah Lodge. Tune in to find out how to mind your business with BEDC, special guest entrepreneurs, industry experts, and more. Brought to you by BEDC. Bermuda business starts here. Welcome to Mind Your Business. I am your host, Jamillah Lodge, and you, of course, are Shervonne Hollis, and you are the founder of Unique Global Events and Services. So today we're going to talk a little bit about your entrepreneurial journey. But before we get started, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Thank you so much for having me this afternoon.
Yes.
So my name is Shervonne Hollis. You would have said that. I am the founder of Unique Global Events and Services. About myself, well, I have a varied, very diverse professional background. So I've worked for government, I've worked in retail, makeup artistry, businesses before. I would say about 2016, 17, more or less. That was the last time I would have worked for the Department of Statistics in Bermuda.
Okay.
So I decided to venture into something that I'm passionate about, of which is event planning. And so that grew from a passion. I guess it started from way back. My family, my friends, anytime there's an event, they would call me to plan it. My creativity side from being an artist in high school. And I like to take an event and add my special touch to it.
Okay.
So that's where the unique comes in the name of my company. The uniqueness, I dare to be different. I like to take I would say more or less a modest risk in what I do.
Okay.
So that's who I am.
So talk a little bit about the types of events and services that your business, that you provide.
Sure. So Unique Business, my business model is basically a versatile enterprise. So I do a bit of corporate planning as well as social planning and management,
Okay.
which can entail from seminars, retreats. I've done galas before. I do special theme events. I love theme.
Yes.
Murder, mystery, you name it.
Yes.
I do it. And I'm more client focused. So
Okay.
whatever the client wants within means, I do it.
Okay.
Conventional and unconventional type of events.
But you push them towards the unconventional, right? You like,
Yes.
what if?
Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, there's many event planners out there, but I like to be the daring one, so to speak.
Yeah, and sometimes people need that push, right? Because
Yes.
they're in this safe space, or they don't really know what they could have.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you have clients that ask for things that, okay, I don't want it to be normal. So
Yeah.
it's like, that all comes in my consultancy part. So
Okay.
I basically meet with the client, or if they're referred, I ask the person, tell me about that person.
Okay.
What do they like, what they don't like, so I can get an idea of what event curation I'm going to do.
Okay. So now, have you always known you wanted to be an entrepreneur? Because you worked for, like you said, private sector, government before, and then you decided 2017 to start your own business. Was that
Yes.
always in your plan?
It always was, because even though I've worked for, let's say, someone else, I always thought of myself as, you can do your own thing. I know I had that strength and capabilities. And obviously, it was a challenge with being flexible. I live in Bermuda, but I do have services in the Bahamas. So
Right.
it's like sometimes when you work for persons, you have to stick with their scheduled plan, whereas I needed a bit more flexibility. But entrepreneurship is in my DNA.
Yes.
That's just me. I feel and I know within myself what my capabilities and strengths are,
Yes.
and weaknesses as well.
Yeah. And then as an entrepreneur, you get to tap into all of those strengths,
Absolutely,
right?
yes.
Whereas if you're working for someone, it's limited to what they want you to do.
Absolutely,
And
yes.
it sometimes stifles your creativity, I would think.
That's the word.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the word. You feel like, okay, you're just 9 to 5,
Yeah.
just waking up. And for me, I love to be excited.
Yeah.
In any job, I would say any job model. I love to be all role. I love to be excited and dare to be a bit different, to be creative. Something that's just 9 to 5 and just, okay, you have to do this and schedule.
Yeah.
It's somewhat boring to me.
Look,
pun intended on the 9 to 5 out there.
And the thing is, it's not for everybody. Like,
Yes.
entrepreneurship is not for everybody.
Absolutely.
So everybody has a lane, and,
Yes.
you get to stay in your lane.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about the transition from working for someone to now starting your own business. What was that like for you? Like, did you experience challenges? If there were, what kind of things did you do to overcome them?
Sure. So I would specifically say to Bermuda, living in Bermuda, the challenge I think most entrepreneurs sort of mention, even from person I've spoken to, is the cost of doing business in Bermuda. It's a little more higher payout, banking fees, all of that are challenges. And then I would say another challenge would be the size of the population and my niche market. So marketing was a bit of challenge, like who do I market my product to? Would it be someone around my age group or a certain age group, a certain sector? I would say those would have been my challenges up front. Funding somewhat, because I had to say, okay, do I take my savings and start my business? Do I ask my families or an angel, so to speak, to invest in my business? So basically deciding, what do I do? Do I do a rental type event business, or do I just put on events, so on and so forth? So how I am able to overcome, I stay true to myself. I know I had a passion about it, and I never allow, I would say, what I cannot change to decide my factor and should I push forward.
Okay.
So I started off slow doing small type events. I have now morphed into more medium to large size events.
Okay.
And I was able to take that capital and reinvest in my business.
Okay.
Yes.
That's great. So it was like you had a slow progression type of what you could do and how you could do it, which makes sense.
Yes.
I mean, entrepreneurship in general or starting a business is scary. And so some people are like, well, how do I do this? How do I quit my secure 9 to 5?
Yes.
And then go out on my own, and now I'm responsible for making sure my bills are paid, groceries are bought. If you have children, that the children, can be covered. So I understand the fear that can be associated with trying to start a business, but to do it slowly, like you said, over time, it gives you the confidence that you can do it. And so now you're at medium-sized events. Corporate events.
Growing slowly but surely.
But surely. Okay.
Yes.
So now let's switch gears and talk a little bit about your participation in Enterprise Bermuda. So that is a incubation program, if you will, that we run for businesses that are still going, developing. Can you tell me a little bit about what interested you in that program and why you applied?
Sure. So it has always been something, well, BEDC in general, I've always been a member of BEDC from doing the little vendor programs with little events in the past. What truly, I would say, re-engaged that mindset or that notion this year was that, Shervonne, you need to do something a bit different. And this, the incubator program was the ideal program for me. I will tell any existing or new business owners to revisit that and join because I've learned so much. The mentorship is a plus. Meeting persons with a history, with expertise in various models of business. I wanted to pivot. I want my business to grow to the next level.
Right.
And I feel that the incubator program is the ideal program for me at this juncture.
Okay.
Yes.
And so you mentioned mentoring. So do you feel that is one of the things that supported you or helped you most in the program?
Yes, absolutely. Coupled with the staff of BEDC. So helpful you guys are.
Thank you.
The mentoring is important. And I would say even whether you're new to entrepreneurship or existing, sometimes you may not acknowledge or you may not see areas that you can improve on. And I feel with the mentorship and persons who looking from outside in and who could guide you and that their experiences, just them sharing that with me has really been invaluable over the past 8 weeks.
Okay.
I must say it's a lot I've drawn from a lot of changes I am now making in my business model.
That's awesome. And I think something that you said, I think is is absolutely correct. Sometimes when you're so close to your business, you can't, you're like, it's perfect. What you mean? Because I'm perfect.
Yes.
And I created this thing. So what are you talking about?
Yes, absolutely.
So having someone who they don't know you, you know, they don't know, they are just looking at the business for what it is,
Yes.
what you have, and then they're able to give you this kind of unbiased feedback,
Absolutely.
which if you take it, like you said, it's
Yes.
going to help propel you to where you want to be,
Absolutely.
which I think that's the whole point. That's what we want to see happen for you. So now let's talk about some of your successes.
Sure.
Some of the things that you're most proud about for your business.
So I would start recently, last year. This is like my model. I've done several stuff in the past, but last year I was able to, it was a brainchild of mine, and as well as I spearheaded our 50th Bahamas Independence Celebration,
All right.
which was a 3-day weekend event in Bermuda, along with some great volunteers, Bahamian volunteers in Bermuda. So I must say kudos for them for coming along with me. So that was one of my major achievements. I've never done it before.
Yeah.
And from what I know and I've been told, it was successful. And it is, you know, it was something that they were like, okay, what are we doing next year? It's like, okay, wait a minute.
Well, that's good. That's a good problem.
Absolutely. And these were from some of the attendants.
Yeah.
As well as I did their future wifey. So one of my clients,
Oh, yes.
is Women of Living Waters, Miss Tucker, Charmaine Tucker. So she onboarded me to coordinate along with her team their future wifey podcast, which
Okay.
was the first type of podcast event I've done. And a few other engagements, like a 40th birthday party I had last year. Currently, I am planning a family reunion of over 500 persons internationally. So I have, so I would say that, as well as I've started this spa type curation. So this spa events, girls' day, kids, and for men. So yes, I'm indeed proud. I have a lot on my plate. I've done a murder mystery as well. That was for me personally, my birthday party. But yeah, I love what I do. You could hear the passion in my voice.
I can see it. Yeah.
And I work with my clients. Like I said, I'm client focused approach. Feedback is important, definitely. Constructive critique and hearing what the client wants is what I listen to.
Okay.
And I try to curate when I'm planning events around.
So what's the process? So if I'm interested in doing something, take me through the steps. Like how should I get in touch with you?
Sure. So I have obviously I'm on social media, Facebook page, Unique Global's events and services, as well as Instagram. So if I get a call or via email, a client reach out to me for event booking, I schedule a consultation.
Okay.
So I can find out what the client, what sort of services they need of me. Once we had that consultation, then I move into sending a form.
Okay.
So I do have a business booking form, which outlines my services and what my tier, service provides. So they can then tick off what they will need me for. It's a detail, very short, but it's a detailed form that I send to the client. Once we do that, then we take it further and I start to engage. My fees are upfront, obviously, to get it started. And then we go from there. And we communicate, however is best for the client.
Right.
Yes.
Well, I love that. I mean, it sounds very exciting. I can see why you would enjoy it because no event is the same, right?
No, not at all. Every event is different and you learn.
Yeah. And so you get to create these new experiences for people every single time. So that's really exciting. In terms of how you reach your clients, I know you mentioned marketing early on.
Yes.
So what are some of the things that you do to let people know that you're here and you're available?
Sure. So I would say the free social media. So in my groups, the WhatsApp, you can never overmarket yourself. I also, I call myself the one-woman band so far. So with my limited graphic design, I do flyers. I send them out newsletters, obviously, for those who My clients who have done events before, I do ask their permission if they would like to be added. Social media. Sometimes I do the traditional with the social media.
Okay.
So sometimes I do the radio advertisement, the newspaper when necessary.
Okay. And that still works in Bermuda. I think because we're so small,
Yes.
we can benefit from that sort of word of mouth and radio and all that kind of stuff
Yes.
still works. So now let's talk about the future of Unique Global Events and Services. What do you see when it grows up? Like when it 5-10 years in, what do you want that business to be?
Well, I would be, maybe I'm a little selfish, but nonetheless, hey, I would want to be the leading event planning business in Bermuda.
Okay.
That curates events.
Yeah.
Put on event, manage events, so on and so forth. So where I see my business has become more innovative, use perhaps technology.
Yes.
Have a technology develop an app for my business. Obviously, I would say more than Bermuda. It's called Unique Global for a purpose,
Yes.
meaning expand outside of Bermuda. Also, to collaborate more. I currently love collaborating with the local entrepreneurs, new and obviously those who are experienced or veterans. So to collaborate a bit more, expand my product model or my service model in terms of probably even teaching event planning. So it's many different ideas I see myself in doing for my business, but mainly to be more innovative, use the AI model to expand my knowledge. I, obviously would love to put on a grand event, like an event planning event, networking event for a global sort of company. But yeah, stuff like that is.
If I recall, I want to say back when Southampton Princess was open, there used to be something like that, right? Where all of the event planners and everybody got together and it was a way to learn, to network and all of that.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea because I do think it is about collaboration and especially in a place that's so small. And with your ability to curate these unique events, there are so many people that can support whatever it is that you're trying to do, right? And so if you don't know who they are, it makes it more difficult. But I think that's a great idea. Let us know when you...
Yes, I will.
So one of the other questions I wanted to ask you was, if you could do... The budget is not an issue, right? You can do anything you want. This person has said, you do you.
Yes.
What would that be? Where would it be? And just kind of take us through that journey. Wildest dreams here.
Wildest dream. Well, I don't know. I do unconventional events, so that might be too
right? She like,
Yeah, okay, Jamillah. So bohemian chic or maybe a Gatsby type event.
Okay.
Where, well, obviously I would be selfish if I say the Bahamas. So let me think outside of the box. I would say Dubai, probably, or Africa. I know it's one, but I'm just thinking, and I will base the theme on culture.
Okay.
Pure culture.
Yeah.
So bringing persons, or I would say individuals from various areas around the world, and just culture, something that includes probably culture of the Caribbean, African culture, maybe European, maybe American, just culture, sharing ideas, people, different, wearing your cultural garment, cooking culture food. So that's what I envision, something that's just different.
Yeah.
Style, fashion, culture, and just a weekend of just fun and various locations. And just bringing people together,
That sounds exciting. I would go to that.
Create a package and just bring everyone together. Just share your culture.
Yeah.
Be authentic,
Yes, I love that. So one day,
yes,
it's going to happen.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Absolutely.
So lastly, I'd like to give you an opportunity to share either with your younger self or with up and coming entrepreneurs. What would you say to them? What are like maybe 3 things that you would tell them to consider if they are interested in starting a business?
Absolutely. So I would say remove self, because in a business you're dealing with other persons as well as constructive critique is important. Be intentional. Many times you have to self-motivate yourself. during the slow period, sometimes when you don't have events, whatnot. But I would say be bold. You know, definitely you have to be bold and never forget your network.
Yeah.
Always network. It's not about a competition. It's about co-petition. I say that because we all can survive in Bermuda together if we just network. You know, your strengths, my strengths, areas I need to improve, your areas. So it's all about taking constructive critique, taking out of that what you can make work for your business and yourself and moving with it, learning, growing, and obviously join Incubator. Absolutely, I've learned so much.
To do that. I didn't know she could.
Yes, join BEDC Incubator Program. You know, you would learn so much nuggets. And you become from that cocoon to that butterfly.
I love that analogy. Thank you for that. And thank you for your words of wisdom, because I think it's important for people to hear from people who've walked the walk, right? From entrepreneurs. We're like, yes, you should start a business. But hearing that from you, who's actually gone through the work, you traveled the journey, if you will. So it does provide encouragement, and that's what we want to do.
It does.
So now, let's let the people know how to find you, because now they're going to be calling. They want to do this cultural event thing that we talked about. So how can they reach you?
Absolutely. So you can find me on social media, both IG, Instagram, and Facebook at Unique Global Events and Services. My email is info, all lowercase, @yourserviceagency@gmail.com, and my cell number is 703-0789. I look forward to your call or your email.
All right. Now, see that? You have no excuse. Call Shervonne, and she'll sort you out.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I really enjoyed speaking with you. Thank you for spending some time with us.
And thank you for having me, my dear.
You're welcome. And remember, if you don't mind your business, who will?
Exactly.
Because if you don't mind your business, who will? Mind Your Business is brought to you by BEDC. Bermuda Business starts here.